see globally where we stand. Because it's going to be up to your generation to be competitive. Competitive against Europe, competitive against China, and even Japan, even though Japan is slipping, and Latin America. If we're not competitive, if we don't produce, if we don't continue to innovate, as we've done in the past 30 years to overcome the waste, fraud, and abuse that you heard from Peter Grace, we've been a wasteful economy. We've had fraud, we've had abuse, but guess what? We were number one in technological innovation. That's where Microsoft came from. IBM, Google, Facebook. We can do less with more. A few people can do now what a lot of people used to do, but we're losing it. Why? China is getting innovative. Germany is getting innovative. Worse than that, China is stealing our technology. And they're communists. So they don't believe in moral certitude. They're masters of deceit, the way J. Edgar Hoover said in his book about communism. These people are masters of deceit. You cannot trust them. They have a different moral system than the United States. You have to understand this. How long are we going to wait to make tough decisions and put China in their place on piracy, on the way they are, dumping things here, like Japan or something? This is not a debate you're facing. Mr. Ryan, a Republican, threw in a plan while we were worrying about the 2011, whether it's 33 or 40 or 60 billion. He says, hey, you know what? I'm going to set the tone now for the budget of 2012, and I'm going to come up with a 10-year vision. Are we going to be a country that is going to go bankrupt and let the world pass us? Or are we going to go back to the vision of the Founding Fathers and redefine what the federal government is? If you would listen to the Obama administration today, you would think that the federal government created the states. No. The states created the federal government. Why is the federal government doing so much? They should be in the business of entitlements. They should be in the business of defense, monitoring nuclear energy, monitoring the environment, Homeland Security. There's plenty for the federal government to do. But the politicians over the years said, if I can get money to Washington and get my friend's job and get money to the unions, maybe they'll give me the votes and I can stay in office. We're way out of whack. We cannot take a chance and get to $20 trillion with interest rates, and I believe in 5 to 10 years, interest rates will be at 8%. Now, if it's $20 trillion, and the public portion is $12 trillion, and it's 8%, you make the numbers. You're talking about $1 trillion of interest. Whoa. That then buries all the spending that is considered discretionary. If we keep spending money we don't have, who's going to bail out the United States of America? And that's the question that you got to ask yourself today, as China has a plan, and we seem to be falling asleep. We've got to go back to making the investments in R&D. We've got to go back to becoming the most innovative economy in the world. Why? Because we've got to learn to do more with less. That's the way we beat the system and beat the waste, fraud, abuse over the last 30 years, and that's the way we're going to beat China in the future. God bless you.